There was this one kid that started throwing rocks at me and said, "You bombed us,
yes.
I'm gonna bomb you now."
Yeah, like, oh, guys in the... They started chasing us in the mall.
I wanted to build a future in Japan.
What changed? What made you go back to America? 皆様こんにちは。
こんにちは。
これ私のお姉ちゃんです。
ソフィアです。
ソフィアです。私のお姉ちゃんは今アメリカに住んでるんですけど、アメリカに住んでますなんですけど、アメリカ You live in America?
アメリカじゃなくて
アメリカ。私のお姉ちゃんがアメリカに住んでますなんですけど、今お姉ちゃんとお姉ちゃんの
前家族
が日本に旅行に来ました。なのでお姉ちゃんとちょっと動画を撮りたいなと思いました。で今日の動画はwe're both obviously half. So I wanted to talk about growing up half in America / growing up half in Japan. There, her daughter is here, so she might be in the background a little bit, but it's okay. So first, we'll just talk about the obvious. We're お姉ちゃんなんですね。But we don't look anything alike, right? 全然似てないよね。家族の中で私の方が一番白人っぽい。My oldest sister, she looks like our mom. She looks like her grandpa, but she looks like Filipino.
うちと比べると肌がもうちょっと黒い方。
Yeah. And then you look very Japanese. I look white, and then our youngest brother looks like Middle Eastern. When you're in Japan, do people think you're Japanese?
No.
Really? I thought that people assumed you were Japanese just because to me she looks so
I don't
Japanese.
know, maybe, but everybody always tries to speak English to me.
What are some experiences that we've had growing up half in Japan? 私アメリカに住んでたんですけど、アメリカの夏の時は結構長いので、その間に日本に来て日本の小学校に行きました。
I remember when we went to elementary school. 廊下に歩いてて、Is it with you? アメリカ人帰れみたいな感じ。
そう。So when we used to go to school in Japan, I used to get this all the time. I don't know about my siblings. I guess they got it too.
You.
Yeah, I personally always heard 帰れよ、外人とかアメリカ人帰れよ. So they would always tell us to go back home. One memory I remember as a kid is remember when we got chased in the mall?
Oh yeah.
So we were in
by some
older kids.
Yeah.
So we were in 横浜？どこだっけ？
わかんない。どっか横浜に行ってた。
I remember the mall, and we were with Mai-chan, Sakura-chan, 私とケンちゃん. And all of a sudden, we were away from my mom and my grandma. We were looking at something.
We were just looking at toys.
3 older boys. I remember I was like 7 years old. I remember the boys just said like, "Oh, guys in the," and then all of a sudden they started chasing us in the mall. And I personally remember crying. I remember crying, freaking out. I remember Grace holding Ken. And I remember we were running down the escalator, like trying to find our mom and grandma.
And then we saw Baba.
You're also just scared because we were kids.
We were little kids. And they were much older than us.
They were much older than us, yeah. And they were all boys. And then finally, when we found our grandma, but that was like, I mean, for me, that was like one negative experience I can fully remember. As a kid, like when we went to school here, yes, we had negative experiences and people telling us to go back to America, but I remember a lot of positive experiences, like kids wanting to get to know us because we were from America.
I remember just kids being always like, hello,
yeah,
hello.
That's one thing. Even now, when we see kids, they're always like, hello.
I think it's cute.
It's very cute, yeah. So like, yeah, there's negative experiences, but we've also dealt with positive ones too. Okay, growing up half, when we are going shopping and stuff, なんか日本語で話したいのに they speak back to us in English, right? And it's so confusing, right? Can you explain why?
なんか例えば最近ママのホテルで泊まってて、and like they asked me, do you want omelets? でも英語で they asked me in English, do you want an omelet? でも発音がちょっと分かんなくて、聞きづらかったんだけど、I didn't know what they were saying. Sometimes it's awkward for me to be like, 日本語でお願いします。 because like they're trying, because I understand that they're trying to practice English and stuff.
Yeah, and
they're trying to be accommodating to me. But 逆に分かんなくなっちゃう. Like,
that's how I feel too.
Yeah, they were trying to say omelets, but like I don't 分かんなかったんだよ。何が言ってたか分かんなかったんだよ。
Yeah, that can be confusing sometimes for us. When they speak back in English, I think sometimes it can be more confusing just because obviously the pronunciation we might get confused.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
I heard omelets. Do you want omelets? And I was like, what?
Were you like,
He said it one more time and I was like, ah.
Omoretto.
オムライスじゃなかったっけ？オムライスじゃなかったっけ？わかんない。でも、大丈夫です。
Okay. But it was confusing. So, what were your experiences growing up half in America?
I think compared to Japan, I think it was way worse.
In America?
I feel like people reminded me daily that it was different.
Oh.
It's like I could never go a day without people just being like, you're Asian. It's like, no shit.
I think being Asian, when we were kids, I think it's very common that you get made fun of.
Like, I know for a lot of Japanese people, I don't look very Japanese, but in America, I look Asian.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And you know, you get your regular ching chong ching chong.
In America, during history class, we learn about Pearl Harbor, and obviously it's Japan against America, so we learn about that kind of thing. But in class, what would happen when we talk about it?
Eyes just go to you.
Yeah, everyone will stare at you. When we talk about what Japan did, everyone's just like, and it's not in a good way. It's just like, oh my god.
I think we learned about it in like 4th or 5th grade, and then I remember like going out and outside in recess. I was playing with my friend, and then there was this one kid that started throwing rocks at me and said, "You bombed us. Yes. I'm gonna bomb you now."
Yeah.
And then started throwing rocks at me.
Yeah, I remember being in school in America, and people would be like, "Your people bombed me." But you know what's interesting? In our family, our American grandfather fought for America, obviously. And then our Japanese great-grandfathers fought for Japan. So within our family, too, it's kind of like an interesting dynamic. But like, I've never thought of it about that, like, too specifically, right?
I've never heard our grandparents say one bad thing about it.
Yeah. One thing I want to talk about is, I hear your daughter coming up. One thing I want to talk about is my sister. My sisters both have lots of... What? So both of my sisters have a crap ton of tattoos. You had any negative experiences being Japanese?
No.
With tattoos?
No.
Except for with our grandparents, right?
Yeah.
Our grandparents literally would make her cover up her tattoos, right?
Yes. I wear long sleeves whenever I come see them. Because I don't want to kill them. My grandparents have never seen all of this. They've only seen like...
Small portion.
I have more up here, but they've only seen like small bits.
So they obviously are older generation, so they have negative stigmas against tattoos.
Yeah.
Your experience is having tattoos, you don't have, but you can't go to like onsen とか行けないよね。
Yeah, 温泉は行けない。一回行ってみて I had to cover up with
the patches.
Lots of band-aids.
So it's just めんどくさい。
めんどくさい。
Yeah. And then まいちゃんの方が she has tattoos. She has tattoos everywhere. Her fingers, her neck. The only place she doesn't have tattoos is her face. So when she comes to Japan, she only comes during the winter time.
It's only for our grandparents.
Because if she comes...
We don't want to kill them.
Yeah, I
don't want to kill them either. My baba, she saw one of my tattoos. I think it was this one.
She almost had a heart attack.
She saw it. I was laying on the couch and she said, "Eh, もっと増えた?" And I was like, "Oh shit. I forgot to cover it up."
Yeah, because you forget about it.
And then she went like purple. And she was like... she was like this. She was like... like she looked like she was in pain.
Also, when
I was like, I can't do this to her again. I think she'll die.
Yeah, I know. I really think she's gonna have a heart attack if she saw the rest of your tattoos. But whenever... Also, you have a nose ring too. But they're used to that, but they don't like it.
Well, Baba's tried to take it out multiple times.
Yes,
and
she literally...
it's just stuck.
So then she literally reaches in her nose and she tries to pull it out. And then, yeah. 実はですね、私のお姉ちゃんは日本に住んでた経験があるんですけど、私とお姉ちゃんの経験がちょっと違いますので、私のお姉ちゃんの場合は how long did you live in Japan for? How many years?
4
年
全部集めて4年間かな、
なんですけど、お姉ちゃんの場合は、お姉ちゃん、どう言って言うかな、アメリカに、she moved back to America. 何歳 how old are you when you moved to Japan?
After high school, you mean?
After high school?
高校生の後
So you were 18?
18歳。
And then, so why did you move to Japan?
I think I always wanted to experience living in Japan after, you know, coming here every summer as kids. I've always had a sense, when I was younger, I felt more Japanese in certain ways, and so I just wanted to.
You felt more Japanese?
Yeah.
Like
so
culturally?
Yeah, sometimes. So I just wanted to experience more of my culture, you know, and everything.
Did you want
relearn the language?
Relearn
I
the
think that was
language.
the most important thing for me.
So, out of all of our siblings, she's actually the one that's the best speaking Japanese. Yeah, because she went to college in Japan. So I think like your level increased a lot when you went to school, right?
多分でも今は全然使わないから下手くそになっちゃった。
Yeah. So then you went to college in Japan. So then how was it when you first moved to Japan? Was it like a very different experience? Like when you first moved by yourself, like was it like, oh, what was shocking?
I mean, schooling is different than America.
How is it?
I know that from like my friends and my siblings that in America you don't go to school as often, like
in college. Really?
Like I would go to school 8 hours a day, 5 days a week in Japan.
Oh yeah, we don't do that. It's
in America, it's like you have maybe a class here or there.
Yeah.
But in Japan,
it's classes every day.
I went to school every day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like a lot. But maybe it's because I was trying to just rack up my credits really quickly.
So then when you first moved to Japan, how was your experience in college? Like, was it good, bad, or?
Initially, it was really difficult because I mean, like, I just had to study my butt off.
Was the language aspect? Then while you were in Japan, what happened? You had a job, right? Right? You had a job.
Not the first year.
Oh.
あれあったっけ？記憶ない。
Like, what aspects did you actually enjoy?
I don't know. I think that's difficult for me to answer because I was in college. Or like I was at university. So like there wasn't really I was having fun, but I wasn't here to have fun.
You were here to study.
Yeah. So I was just studying a lot.
But were you planning to move here forever when you moved here?
Initially, yeah. I wanted to stay. I wanted to build a future in Japan.
So what changed? What made you go back to America? Because she came here once, went back to America, and then she came here again, and then went back to America. She came to Japan. She was dating someone, and he was crazy, I guess, right?
Yes.
So that's why
you can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, so that's why she had to go back to America. But then the second time, what made you come back to Japan again?
I didn't choose to leave the first time.
Yeah, it wasn't your choice.
It was more so that like I had to.
Yeah.
And so I came back wanting to restart my studies and everything. But I think it just kind of became emotionally too hard for me to be in such a negative place. Like it was a place that just kind of filled like a lot of memories. Or had like really a lot of bad memories, and I left that for a reason. And so like when I came back, I thought I'd be fine, but no.
The second time you went back to America, it was because you felt lonely.
I mean, like I always growing up, there was always someone there. I have 3 siblings.
Yeah.
I'm always with somebody.
Yeah.
But in Japan, I was very isolated, I guess. You know, all I did was go to school, go to work, and go home.
Was it easy for you to make friends in Japan?
No.
Why? Because I have the same experience. For me, it's very hard to make friends in Japan. 1, I think it's a language issue, but 2, culturally, it's just very different making friends.
Personality-wise, sometimes I just don't vibe with certain Japanese people. I think I'm very American in that sense.
So like an American as in like you're over, what do you mean? Like you're more extrovert?
Compared to Japanese people, yeah. I don't know, even when I was staying in Japan, I always immediately just had foreign friends. I think we are more open and easily able to.
It's something about the converse. So when I've noticed this too, when I'm speaking to Japanese people, I kind of feel scared to like offend them or like, because you know Japanese people use keigo, but then you also have to think about how old are they, that kind of stuff. But in America, nobody really cares.
Yeah. Whenever I meet anybody in Japan, I'm automatically I'm friendly, and I don't use keigo and stuff like that. And I know that's kind of weird for them, but that's just how I am.
Yeah, I know, I get that.
Like
too.
I want them to be themselves.
Yeah.
I feel like
in Japan,
I feel like it's gyakuni, they don't know how to be themselves, and then it makes me feel kind of like
kind of scared.
Yeah,
that's exactly how I feel. Is she eating the chopstick? Yeah, that's exactly how I feel too. I'm just like, how to go through the friendship kind of relationship is kind of tough because I don't want to come across rude, but then in America I don't worry about that, so it's kind of challenging. Is there anything else tough about living in Japan, like work-life balance?
Oh yeah,
was
I
that
hate
hard?
working in Japan.
Okay, so why'd you hate working in Japan?
It's like slave work. Initially, I was an English tutor.
Okay. To kids?
And then, yeah.
What was challenging about it?
You get paid once a month. You get paid once a month, and I feel like that's not very fun. You get paid once a month? Oh. Wait, are all Japanese jobs like that where you get paid once a month? I think so. And it's actually really hard. I feel like it's harder than getting paid two times a month. Yeah, that's true. When I was at my first job, we got paid once a month, and I felt like by the end of the month, I was like barely surviving. For some reason, it just felt like I would work a lot more than I did in Japan than America. So even though you did move back to America because not just your negative experiences, just because of your own personal reasons. I think it was mostly all personal. So even though you had bad experiences in Japan, what were some good experiences that you had in Japan? Yeah. I love everything about Japan. It's easy to travel around. Convenience. Everything's very convenient in Japan. Obviously, I love to eat. I think it was just unlivable because I didn't have my family. I just missed my daddy and my siblings. Yeah, she just missed me, right? Yeah. And then she left. And then I left. So that's our experiences growing up half in Japan, ne? Right. So desu ne. In Japan? Growing up half in America and Japan. So yeah, that's our experiences growing up half in Japan and America. I hope you guys enjoyed this video too. I'm sorry for the baby in the background. Her beautiful baby. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Sara-chan, do you want to say bye? Bye, minna, bye. Say bye-bye. Say please like and subscribe. Say bye-bye. Yay! Yay, say bye-bye. You say thank you. Thank you, arigato. Thank you. Okay, bye. She's... Sora-chan, unko shiteru no? No. So, what about your experiences growing up half in America? Hi. Also da ne. Okay, so what were your experiences growing up half in America? Mama. Hi. Mama. Hi. You're all red. Mama no kamidaki kirei da ne. Say kirei, kirei. Okay. 一体ちょっと集中できるのにこんなに。そうちゃん優しい。ね、これもうやめとこう。なんか他のもん探して。